As a company, we've had long-standing philanthropic pillars of education and hunger. I've always had lingering in the back of my mind, how do we do something closer to home? And what are those needs?
We wanted to do something that would be impactful for the community and to zero in on exactly what would make the biggest impact for the most number of people.
That really was the impetus or the spark for hometown food security. Through our connections in the community and our connections with the company, we're able to convene a group to really talk about it in a different way than anyone had ever talked about it before.
We have a cross-sector coalition that has come together to lend their time, talent, expertise, really to create informed community solutions to responding to the issue of food insecurity here in Malheur County. Notable coalition activities to date include publishing a comprehensive community assessment that really served as the foundation for our work. We opened an office downtown Main Street where community members can access resources, and we launched 3 initial action teams: mobile food, SNAP advocacy, and volunteer mobilization. Through this work, we have, mobilized hundreds of volunteers, thousands of pounds of food. We've engaged countless partners and connected countless community members to resources that they need. Imagine a community where no one goes hungry. That's exactly what we're coming together to try to create here in Austin, Minnesota.
We're entering into a conversation that's a private situation with people and understanding what the real goal is, and that's to meet basic needs, and we're doing it because it's the right thing to do.
I've been doing research on food insecurity, the causes and consequences of food insecurity for over 25 years. I've never seen anything like this. Incredible leadership, strong community, belief in that this is an important thing to address.
The work that Hormel Foods is doing with the Hometown Food Security Project, in my mind, really is a model. It can be a model for other companies. Companies who really want to do the work, not just write a check.
Hormel Foods is dedicated to supporting the communities where we live and work, including our hometown of Austin, Minnesota. Our commitment extends beyond hunger relief and also encompasses the mental and physical well-being of the youth and families in Malheur County. We are proud to partner with Nexus Family Healing and its mission to provide much-needed assistance and counseling to young people and families in our area. I'm Denver Ritz-Vorwald, Hormel Foods team member and volunteer at Nexus Girard. For many years, our company and our team members have actively provided Nexus Girard and its dedicated, incredible faculty with the resources and tools to support and care for youth in our area. Sometimes they just need a place to stay, where they can receive necessary help and assistance, or simply talk with peers or trusted individuals. Through holiday gift drives, volunteer weekend excursions, supplies and fundraising dinners prepared by Hormel Foods chefs, and support for a new family center, Hormel Foods and its team members are proud to be there for the youth, families, and faculty of Nexus Girard. Jim and Tammy Snee had the opportunity to learn about Nexus Girard when Jeannie and Jim Sheehan hosted a gathering at their home and shared the stories of its positive impact. The ongoing work to strengthen the efforts and resources needed to maintain our focus on the mental health of youth in rural communities remains critically important. Fostering cross-collaborative partnerships with key stakeholders, such as public schools and public health, is an essential part of the work. This is the only way we can truly understand the needs of the community. There is more work to be done, and we remain as dedicated as ever. The life-changing work being done at Nexus Girard is extremely important and impactful for the youth and families in our community. We are honored to support the leadership, faculty, and volunteers at Nexus Girard.
Welcome to Night for Nexus. Please put your hands together for tonight's MCs, Amelia Santinello and Frank Vassalero.
Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm the Frank part of Amelia and Frank.
And I'm Amelia, the Amelia part, Amelia Santinello. We are co-anchors, colleagues at WCCO TV, and we're also married to each other, so.
Yeah, that's all code for my wife is the boss. I'm just happy to be along for the ride, but we're very excited to be here.
Yeah, welcome to Night for Nexus, Creating Hope. We are thrilled to be with you, and I know all of you are thrilled to be here. Many of you coming here again year after year, so we're thrilled to see all of you. We became involved with Nexus a few years ago after WCCO TV did a story. They did it on foster kids and the need for suitcases, because you don't really think about when these kids are going home to home, how they carry their stuff with them, put them into bags and all that. And so Susan Elizabeth Littlefield did a story, and there was such a great response. And then that's when I realized how much more Nexus does, not only with foster care, but helping with mental health and mental health services for these young teens and for families who are going through what they go through when they have a child involved in that. It was so impactful, and as I said, our viewers were inspired to take action and support this great organization, and we were inspired to get involved as well.
Yeah, it was really cool. Speaking of involvement, though, we'd like to take an opportunity to recognize the Night for Nexus honorary chairs, Jim and Tammy Snee, and presenting sponsor Hormel Foods. Jim, as you know, is the CEO of Hormel Foods based in Austin. Tammy enjoyed a career as a registered nurse and is now a community advocate across many efforts in Austin. Austin is also home to Nexus Girard, which is one of the many Nexus locations that youth and family healing and trauma and mental health challenges is served through Girard. And as you can see by that opening video as well, Jim and Tammy are the dedicated, and all the dedicated employees of Hormel Foods. They do some really incredible work in the Austin community, including their amazing support of youth and employees and the folks at Nexus. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's our pleasure, please, to recognize Jim and Tammy Snee. Hi, nice to see you. How you doing?
Nice to meet you. Thank you. It's all yours. All right, it's all mine. Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Thank you all for being here this evening. Tammy and I are truly honored to be co-chairs this evening. And we hope from the opening videos you all can see just how committed we are, both personally and professionally, to assuring that basic needs are met in our community. On our journey, our personal journey, we've learned a lot. And what we've learned is that access to timely and effective mental health resources is a basic need. It's a basic need, and it's every bit as important as the work being done on housing, food security, and there's no doubt that all of those basic needs are woven together. And Nexus, specifically Nexus Girard, is part of our rural community. And we do all we can to support them and their mission of changing the course of a child's life by stabilizing families and strengthening mental health. I can't think of a more worthwhile cause. And their outreach to our local community is vital, and it's fair to say that the demand has absolutely never been higher. And just in the month of October, we learned from the Mayo Clinic Health Systems that the emergency room in Austin, Minnesota has had 5 orders, 5 children under the age of 18, just in October. We can't allow this trend to continue. We can do better. And we are working to destigmatize mental health care at Hormel Foods and in our community. And by demonstrating the high value that we place on Nexus Girard, the work they're doing, the team members, really makes a difference. And it makes a more normalized conversation. the holiday gift program, the advisory board participation, mentorship, friendship, and volunteering by Hormel team members and community members, many who are here with us tonight. They're all important measures of this work. Because there will never be enough mental health providers. There just won't. But rather than lament that reality, we can find ways to improve outcomes. We can do it in much the same way that so many of us have learned CPR. Teaching people how to identify warning signs, but having the courage to intervene. Mental health first aid. Mental health first aid is a life-saving technique. And let us never forget to take care and recognize the people who do the work. They are so critically important. They are the true heroes. Tirelessly working and advocating for this worthy and important effort. Earlier this year, Tammy and I had the opportunity to be in Washington, D.C., and we were lobbying on behalf of the hunger work that we do in our community. And in the same congressperson's office, who turns around to greet us but Michelle? And what was so rewarding is to know that Michelle and the team are making sure that the mental health needs of our youth are being represented. And so thank you all for showing up. Showing up is a big part of the solution because this is a cross-sector, cross-collaborative effort that truly takes a village. And the ability to succeed and achieve the desired outcome, it will not be the responsibility of any single person or any single organization. In addition to the experts, it will be the educators. It will be the rec center leaders. It will be the city and county leaders, the nonprofit agency leaders, the business leaders, and corporations who help lead the way to a more positive impact and better outcomes. But to get to where we need to be, it takes resources. And those resources, they're not free. And so since it's election season, let's think about this tonight. And let's modify the old Chicago saying of vote early and vote often. Instead, let's think differently. How about let's donate? And let's donate early and let's donate often. And we can all find a way to donate, whether it's time, talent, or money. I can't thank you enough for all of you to being here this evening. It's such a worthy effort, and we thank you for your commitment to your support of Nexus. Have a great evening.
Jim, thank you. Tammy, thank you. Hormel, thank you. You folks are making an incredible impact, and we appreciate and we're grateful for all you do. Donate early, donate often. It's a new slogan. Credit to Hormel. Thank you.
Dinner is being served now, so as you can tell, salads are on the table if you haven't eaten them already like I have. Dig in. Our program will actually begin at 7:45. We do have a few notes on our auction. The auction will be open until 7:45, so between bites, be sure to bid. Please note that all items in the auction will close at the same time, so if you know what you want, go for it.
Yeah, we're just going to highlight a few of the things for you that you might be interested in. We have all kinds of good getaways, places in Minneapolis, Madeline Island, Colorado, Hilton Head. So here we go. This is the Four Seasons getaway for two. It's a 2-night stay in a 1-bedroom stadium suite, dinner at the chef's table at Mara, which is fabulous, 2 60-minute spa treatments, maybe a facial, or a massage, or, if you got it, you could take both. Tell your husband he gets none, you get both. Taxes and gratuities included, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to the Four Seasons of Minneapolis, and this was secured by Jim and Tammy Sneeze, so thank you guys as well. How gorgeous is that? Look at this place, Madeline Island Home, 5 nights in a pristine location on Lake Superior. This is actually 2 homes. There are 6 bedrooms and 6 baths. It's incredible. Thank you to Nexus board member Scott Lynch. Scott, where are you?
Yeah, there he is.
Thank
Right
you,
over there.
Scott. I know folks who have stayed at your place. You're so generous with it, and they absolutely loved it. So thank you very much for that. Check out the description of the auction for all the details and availability listings.
Another item, the Hilton Head condo, 5 nights in a beautiful newly renovated condo on Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. It's 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and it sits right on the Harbortown Golf Links. You will have access to the pool and the clubhouse, and this is donated by Dave and Jane Anderson, who are here. Where are you two? Where are Dave and Jane? We want to say a big thank you.
Thank you,
them.
Andersons.
And photos and details and availability are listed in the auction. There's also a Silver Creek condo. You can spend an incredible week in a mountainside at a condo at Silver Creek Condo. That's in Granby, Colorado. And this is a fan favorite year after year, and this is donated by Kraus Anderson.
Yeah, Winter Park is right nearby. It's gorgeous. The Nexus board step up and add additional items like the Tour de France dinner donated by Nexus board member Marcia Ballinger and her husband Brad. Marcia, you're here, correct? Hi, Marcia. Tell Lars I said hi, please. All right. Multi-course gourmet French dinner paired with selected wines from regions in France. Is there a limit on the wine? No limit, Marcia says, on the wine. Go to Marcia and Brad's house, have the time of your life.
Tiny Cabin Getaway. This is donated by Nexus board member Dave Metzen and his wife Leslie. Thank you to Dave and Leslie. They're also here this evening. Big thank you.
Well done, yeah.
2 nights in an adorable tiny home. This is Big Sandy Lake in McGregor. And Dave and Leslie provide all the meals, including 1 gourmet dinner.
I saw a lot of bidding on the tiny house. It looks fantastic. Hey, folks, there are all kinds of other things at all kinds of price points. If you have a high school or college kid, there's 2 beef jerky baskets. Bring those home tonight. You'll be a hero. There's wine. The hottest tickets in town right now are the Wolves and the Wild, and we have Wolves and Wild tickets in there as well. So please donate early, donate often, bid on everything you like. It'll be really, really great. In the meantime, enjoy your dinner. Remember, 7:45, that cuts off. So have a good time. Don't be too Minnesotan. Try to beat the person at your table and win. So enjoy. We'll see you in a bit. Happy to be here.
He's been fighting for his life up against the demons he's got living in his mind. And I know it's been a long, dark road, but you need to know you're not alone. She's been searching for her smile that went away and hasn't been on her in a while. When you're living in a cold, cruel world, it ain't all that hard to lose sight of all that you're worth. No, you're not alone. You're not alone. When you feel like letting go, when you're lost and all alone, please just let somebody know, 'cause 'cause no one knows just what you're going through but you. We've all been out there in the dark, in the middle of nowhere, so scared of looking for a light. If you're feeling like you're falling, just hold on. We've all got a song. No, you're not alone. You're not alone. When you feel like letting go, when you're lost and all alone, please just let somebody know, 'cause no one knows just what you're going through. Yeah, no one knows just what you're going through. The sun will rise tomorrow, bringing you a brand new day, and every cloud that covers will slowly fade away. But no more calling all alone. It's time for healing, time for hope. Start a chapter of better days, yeah. 'Cause no one knows just what you're going through. Yeah, no one knows just what you're going through. Whoa. But you. You're not alone. You're not alone. I think that's it.
Well, hello again, everybody. Hope you enjoyed your dinner. If you're still eating, please feel free. Continue. If you need something to drink, please go to the bar. I promise you our presentation will be much stronger with several glasses of wine. How about Jake Nelson, ladies and gentlemen? Wasn't that amazing? Local musician Jake Nelson, and the beauty of it, as you've heard, just a great reminder that youth can feel sad, they can feel alone, and sadly at times they can feel like giving up. But they, like all of us, are not alone, and we're never alone. As Jake said, it's time for healing and hope, and that's a really good segue into what we're going to do tonight, because tonight is all about creating hope.
Yeah, hope is a powerful word, a belief that things will get better even in the most challenging situations. When a child, a teen, or a family connects with Nexus, they're in the midst of some of the most difficult times of their lives. And like children who are placed in foster care because their homes are unsafe, students who struggle to stay focused in school while trying to cope with bullying or anxiety, turning to self-harm as a release. Youth who have experienced violence in their homes or their neighborhoods and then become aggressive as a way to protect themselves and to navigate their world. Families who are feeling alone and overwhelmed knowing that their child is depressed or suicidal and have no idea where to turn for help. These are incredibly complex and difficult situations. And for more than 4,600 youth and families each year, Nexus is there with expert care and an unwavering commitment to never give up.
And it makes a difference. Nexus Family Healing provides that hope to youth and to their families, and they do it for a variety of mental health challenges, and they have an abundance of services. They have residential programs, group homes, shelters, foster care, adoption programs, outpatient, school programs, walk-in crisis, and many other family community services. And Amelia alluded to the number. They help more than 4,600 children and adults every year, and as you can see, their reach is large. Minnesota, North Dakota, Illinois, Maryland, and Oregon, and it makes a difference.
And as a result, children find loving and stable homes. Students develop friends, and success in school. Youth learn new coping skills and ways to heal from trauma. Families find the support and care that brings stability and rebuild trust in relationships. For more than 50 years, Nexus has been committed to helping even the most challenging situations, restoring hope for thousands of children and families through a range of mental health services at the right time, in the right way, in the right place. And they do this in ways that meet families where they're at, embracing their unique needs, their cultures, and situations.
And then in addition to that, Nexus knows mental health is not just about therapy and treatments, but also about building the skills that provide opportunities to support overall health and well-being and being successful in life. Nexus believes every child is worth it and every family matters. Each and every day, Nexus is creating hope and a brighter future for not only their clients, but for our communities and all of us.
Yeah, and we want to take a moment right now to recognize our generous sponsors who made tonight possible. As we mentioned earlier, tonight's event is being presented by Hormel Foods. Tito's is tonight's cocktail sponsor. Woo!
We like a crowd that cheers for vodka. Vodka and Spam, yes.
Oh, our other lead sponsors of tonight's event include AmTrust North America, Assured Partners, Bremer Bank, Medica, and additionally, we want to recognize all of tonight's generous sponsors whose names that you can see right there on the screen. Thank you to these incredible donors. We cannot thank you enough for your ongoing investments. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Now to share a little bit more about this amazing organization, we're honored to introduce Nexus Family Healing President and CEO, Dr. Michelle Murray. Hi.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I really appreciate it. This is such a stocked house tonight, and it's just wonderful. Thank you to all of those who have come again for many years, and for the new folks that are here, it means so much to us. You are supporting that every year we're getting bigger and bigger. The word is getting out. The message of having hope and building our access and getting our services out to people is growing because of the support that you all give to us. So I really thank you. And I want to thank Amelia and Frank for coming and supporting us and representing Nexus, and for all of you being so delighted to have them represent. It's been so great. I want to recognize our board members. If our board members could stand up. We have many board members here from Nexus Family Healing as well as our Nexus Foundation. So please stand up. Thank you. I'm sure that many in the audience know the importance that board members play of giving their time and other resources to the cause has been so incredible for Nexus Family Healing. I also want to recognize, this is the first year that we had a table, so every year all of our agencies recognize one staff person per program, per agency that's been an outstanding employee. And so we have a whole table here of our ambassadors. We call them ambassadors. So if our ambassadors could stand up, because these are the staff that are doing the work. Where are you? Here we go. You are the ones that are delivering the mission, so thank you. I also just want to spend a little bit just thanking our sponsors. I just want our sponsors to know your loyalty to Nexus Family Healing is absolutely incredible. I mean, you really are showing up to be a part of this community. I want you to know it does not go unnoticed by me that our sponsors, every year you're giving more and more and more, and it's just so appreciative. We notice it. We're able to use it. If it weren't for you sponsors that are here and continuing to support us, we would not be able to do these events and they wouldn't grow. So thank you so much again. And then of course, I really want to thank Jim and Tammy Snee, and for Hormel, for all of you being here and being a part of this. It really means a lot for the sponsorship. And what I do want to say about Hormel is this is not just talk. When Jim was up here talking about the importance, Hormel really does give back to the community. They have been an incredible partner in the Austin community, giving back other communities, not just Austin, but they have been so incredible in terms of creating community with Nexus Girard and being a part and getting people actively involved. So it's not just talk, it's real. This is a real sense of community that Hormel gives back. So I really appreciate you being here. All right, I could spend the whole time thanking, but I'm gonna, as Frank and Amelia were mentioning, for over 50 years, we have been delivering a lot of high-level services to our communities in many states, as well as a lot here in Minnesota, tackling the most difficult mental health challenges for children and families. And through those years, we've adapted, we've shifted, we've changed, we've continued to grow and just kind of spread our wings and get more and more innovative, do much more work in partnership with others in our communities, because that's really important for us. So over the last 6 years, just to talk a little bit about some of our trajectory, we've added youth and adult crisis walk-in services. We resumed a girls group home that was gonna shut down without us stepping in. We've added a youth shelter program for Dakota County. We opened a family responsive and crisis stabilization program for Hennepin County that is now expanding tremendously. We have started to do independent living services for children that are aging out of the foster care system. And this has just been vital. And these are services in Minnesota specifically that have really helped our communities. And over this past year, we've continued to expand specifically as partnering with people and listening to the community's direct needs and saying, how can we meet that challenge and remove any barriers in the way? So we developed a youth transition program to help with the children and their families, the children that are stuck in emergency departments because they have nowhere else to go. It's been getting really great outcomes. We're doing that in partnership with the state, and we're growing that with other counties right now. We expanded to Portland, Oregon, and opened a secure psychiatric residential treatment center for a very specialized group of kids that nobody else was willing to serve, so that they would not have to sit in detention centers. And that has been working so well because of the staff that are really running it. And we also have opened a psychiatric residential treatment center up in East Bethel, this starting last November, and that is going well. It's a challenge to open a brand new program with kids who have the most complex needs, and I wish that whole staff team were here, because the work and the dedication, the commitment that they have is absolutely incredible, because these are our kids that are falling through the cracks. And our future still has more growth. We're being very strategic and intentional about who we're trying to work with to serve, particularly trying to meet communities in the most difficult programs that other people are not able to do. We're gonna continue to work with our community-based services, meeting with families. We're not gonna give up because the program seems too hard or there's too many barriers. That's kind of our sweet spot, as we really try to get in there and figure out a way to make it work for people. We're gonna focus on family-centered community services, bringing mental health services more to the schools and with other partnering programs, and trying to expand our crisis stabilization services as well. So I wanna kind of talk a little bit about your role. The support that you give us so that we can make these things happen is so critical and vital. And we need that continued support. So we are very committed to quality mental health services, and we put a lot of our resources and time and energy into that, and that's very, very key, to be very specialized in the treatment that we bring. But there's a lot of other things that need to happen. We have to help families get access to care. There is a lack of access to care. I was just having a conversation again tonight with somebody about access to care and how do we get people the right help. It's also providing education and vocational opportunities for our children and their families, creating welcoming and healing spaces. These are the things that we want to wrap our clients and our families that work with us, wrap them with these types of services, because it's not just about the clinical treatment, it's all these other things, so that they can have lifelong benefits to what they're getting. And tonight, I really want to focus and call out the importance of focusing on recreation and the arts and the wellness in areas that are supported much because of the donations that you all give. And this is a huge focus of ours right now, because we can give a lot of really tough clinical treatment, but there's more that our kids and families need. They need things where their mind is connected to their body, where they can experience other experiences. And I just want you to imagine with me for a minute, if any of you have had small children in your life, 8 months, 9 months old, either your own or other children, I remember distinctly being so excited when my first child was in that 8 and 9 month old frame, and I could not wait to let this child taste ice cream, right? So do you remember that moment when you've been in a child's life and you think, wow, I can't wait so that you can see the facial expression and you can see the joy and the eyes pop open and them wanting more, right? And it's a whole experience that a child has about ice cream. Their face changes, they smile, their body starts to, kind of do the little baby thing, right? Well, that's that whole mind-body connection, and how exciting it is to see that baby have that experience. And then I think about the other times where you all, at whatever age it was, what was that experience that you had from a recreational standpoint, where the first time you went fishing, the first time you went hunting, the first time you skied, you were on a soccer team, maybe the first time you cooked something for the first time and it was actually edible, right? And the excitement that, wow, I could actually feed myself, right? Like, I don't need someone else to do this, I can survive. But think of those first things, the first ice skating experience. Those are the kinds of experiences that a lot of our kids that we work with don't have. They haven't had that yet, right? And that's the kind of thing I think of my own childhood, and the thing that impacted me the most was when I finally learned how to ride a bike. That was so big for me, because that bike represented freedom. I could ride all over my neighborhood every day, weekends, evenings, all summer long. I mean, it gave me my freedom. It gave me my connection to my community. I was able to ride wherever I wanted and meet people and be with my friends. And that mind-body connection is so powerful, right? We're meeting our needs, not just through our talking therapies, but through what we're doing with our body and those experiences. And it's not because of the children's parents' faults that they're not experiencing this. A lot of the kids we work with, parents have tried to get these experiences to their children, but they've had such trauma or such challenges that that's not even safe to have their child get those experiences. And so what we do is, either for children who have never had that for whatever reason, when we work with them, we can use our therapy to stabilize them and get them to a place where then they can experience those recreational activities, the arts, the music, the wellness. And that's where donations fit in for us, right? Because the people who pay us for the services, those aren't the things that they pay for, but those are critical, absolutely critical to people's healing. Think about what your life would be like if you did not have those experiences. Those experiences, they ground us. They ground us. They connect our mind with our body. They become the memories that we have that we can look back to and find some hope, right? When we have those positive experiences, those memories sink into our brains, and we can look towards something. Hey, maybe I can write that poetry. Maybe I can play that instrument. Maybe I can go be on that sports team. That's what can help children come out of that pain, along with all of the other wonderful therapy experiences that they get. So don't forget the power of those feelings that you had for yourselves or your own children as you expanded your world and their world into those experiences. Your donations will allow those types of experiences to happen for the kids and the families that we serve. They need these opportunities to play, explore, try new activities, and interact with the outdoors. So when I think more about this, when we can align all that, this helps kids escape just being in their head, right? When they can experience those things throughout their body and to their core, they don't have to be stuck in their heads thinking about the things that have happened to them. It can help with things like participation in, I want to give you some examples actually of some kids that we have worked with that have really been, it's been a powerful part of their treatment. So experiencing things like organized sports and art and music can provide a sense of accomplishment and build self-esteem. Things like recreational play and outdoor adventures can help youth reduce stress and anxiety. Maybe many of us have experienced a canoe trip like this. These are the kinds of experiences that are new to our kids. Gardening and learning about nutrition and cooking can lead to healthier lifestyles and can reduce food insecurity and obesity, which is very prevalent among kids who have experienced a lot of trauma. And then, of course, all the other outings and activities like attending sports events, enjoying theme parks, museums, concerts. We often take these things for granted in our own lives. We think it's just a natural, normal part of our life experience. It is not for everybody. It's not a normal, natural part. We have to create these opportunities and experiences. So there's a whole outside world that people can experience that plays a huge part in their healing. Play and stress relief are also important for all of us, especially for those who have experienced trauma and mental health challenges. So I just want to close again and thank everybody again for being here, and thank you for thinking through how to best meet the needs in your communities and the power of these experiences in children and families' lives. So thank you again for being here, and we will turn the time over again to Frank and Amelia.
Thank you, Michelle. We're so fortunate to have Nexus in our community. You just pointing out and highlighting how it's expanded and all the work that it's doing for our community and those in need. Now we would like to introduce someone who has lived through many of the experiences that Michelle has just highlighted for us and has seen the positive impact that Nexus has made on her family. Sarah Schneider is the mother of 3 children, one of whom directly benefited from the support of Nexus Family Healing. So Sarah, why don't you come on up and join us? And I want to say thank you for joining us tonight to tell us your story.
Wow. Thank you, Amelia, for that warm welcome. I appreciate it. Thank you to Nexus for inviting me to speak tonight and share our story. And thank you to my son, Luke, for allowing me to share this story of hope. Like she said, my name is Sarah Schneider. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm an adoptive mother, I'm a biological mother, I'm a special needs parent, and I'm an advocate. Our story began when Luke was adopted, and it quickly ramped up by the time he was 9 months old, because when he was 9 months old is when I began pounding on doors for him. I asked our doctor questions right out of the gate. Something seemed a little off with this child. She looked at me like I was nuts. I persisted. I said, no, he's more demanding than a typical baby, and he seems to be almost a victim mentality. I know that's crazy to say as a parent, but those were some of the feelings I was thinking as early as 9 months old, and our doctor said, you're crazy. That can't be the case. He's just a boy. You haven't raised a boy before. I knew in my heart that I had to keep fighting for this child. By the age of 2, we were in fight or flight, and that means we were either in a full-scale tantrum fight or he was on the move. He was scaling walls, sticking fingers in sockets, never played with an actual real toy most of his childhood. By the age of 4, he did receive a diagnosis for ADHD. It felt like a Band-Aid. I knew that that was not the full story with our son. I was happy to get a little bit of insight, but I knew there was still more. Before I tell you more stories about the hard times with Luke, I do want to share a little bit about his heart. When Luke was 5, we were on our way out the door to go to kindergarten with all of our children in tow. Luke looks up at me and says, "Mama, can I take that new pair of shoes in the closet that are Bella's, his big sister?" I was frazzled. I was carrying all the bags and all the backpacks and all the things moms do. But it took a minute, and I said, "Buddy, why do you want to take those shoes?" And he said, "There's a girl in my class and she can't play gym because she doesn't ever have any shoes." That was the heart of the kid that we were fighting for. His heart is gold. Despite all these behavioral tendencies and these things that were in his brain causing him to act aggressively or with anger, his heart was pure. And that's what I would fight for every day of his life. At 6 years old, Luke rejected physical touch. We gave him treatment for RAD, reaction attachment disorder. He was able to have some help through some play therapy. At age 7, he was obsessed with fire, danger, anything sharp objects, such is the case with a lot of kids like him. One day when we were walking into the YMCA, a place we frequented for just a tiny bit of respite, I bumped right into a sign that said, "NAMI meeting next Tuesday." If you don't know, NAMI is the National Alliance for Mental Illness. I knew enough to know that, and I knew enough to seek out the help because we were struggling at home. The next week, we packed up our kids and we showed up at the meeting, and we were the only ones that showed up. Those 2 women poured into us, listened, no judgment, were so empathetic. It was the first time in our life with him that I felt heard, I felt understood, and I felt like I'm not crazy. The next 2 meetings, they worked with us to get to work. They taught me everything under the sun that I did not already know about mental illness and raising a child with special disabilities. Things like caddy waivers and medical assistance and PCAs, the SMIRT program, all of these acronyms that are out there in the mental health world that I knew nothing about until that moment. It was after learning from them that I truly began to know my role as his advocate. Armed with this new info, I got to work. At age 9, we got a new neuropsych evaluation for Luke that gave just a little bit more in-depth information. At that time, he was diagnosed with fetal alcohol syndrome disorders, brain damage as a result of fetal alcohol, and undiagnosed mood disorders. I'm going to tell you that no parent wants more labels slapped on their children. We don't want that. But what it did do was give me a better insight into his particular challenges so that we could better help him and advocate for him. We left the doctor appointment that day with a very bleak outlook. The doctor said a lot of times kids with these kind of diagnoses lead a life of crime, addiction, and worse. It wasn't long after that that violence began in our house. We installed locks on doors. We lived in fear. We had cameras installed thanks to our new caddy waiver. And we hid all of the sharp objects in our home because they presented a danger. By age 10, we were all controlled by outbursts of violence and aggression. It was at that time that our case manager first presented us the idea of residential treatment. I am not going to lie. I was not on board for that. I thought, I can handle this myself. I should be able to handle this myself. I thought it would mean I was a bad parent. I thought I should be able to fix it. I was worried about what other people would think. I was worried about my heart. Would I be able to handle this? And I was scared that he would resent us for this choice. With some talking with my husband and a lot of prayer, we thought about the good things. Luke would get the treatment he needs 24/7. We might get the respite that we need as a family. We would all receive therapy that was desperately needed. Luke would get the support from peers and loyal caretakers. Luke would get the proper schooling. And most importantly, our home would hopefully experience safety and peace. We were on board. We thought residential treatment would be the great option for Luke, so we began the process. It turned out there was only 2 facilities in our state that would take Luke at his age at that time. They were both full with a waiting list. We continued the process and moved forward, and we also set out to receive approval from our county for help in the financial aspect. I'll never forget the day my husband and I rolled in there and sat in an office with 6 legal representatives and a few county representatives and pled our case to them, only to be told no. Our case did not warrant their help. It wasn't severe enough. I was devastated. And if that wasn't enough, then came COVID. If you're like me, a shudder just went through you, a little PTSD. And if you have a special needs kid, it was really hard. All the services that we had previously that we were so lucky to have were gone. No one could come to our home. We had to do everything over Zoom. I had to school him while working, while raising other kids, while being a wife. I think many of you know what I mean. It was very difficult and became easily one of the worst times in our life. Luke became increasingly agitated and more angry over that time, often having violent outbursts. He ran away from home 3 times. There were 75 holes punched or with objects thrown into his room. And there were 2 violent attacks on me. In 2021, it became aware to us that Nexus Mille Lacs was opening up for mental illness. We quickly applied for a position in that facility. We went again to our county to seek help, and with some of the, quite honestly, hard things that happened in 2020, this time they did approve us for residential treatment and they would support us. At age 12, Luke entered Nexus Mille Lacs in Onamia. He turned 13 1 week later and exited Nexus Mille Lacs right before turning 14. Those first days were brutal. I can't explain to you how hard it is to leave your child at a facility. I cried the entire way home, and then for days on end. And then your son calls you and tells you, you need to get me out of here. Crying, upset. We had to hold hands and reassure ourselves of those positives that we knew would come from Nexus. I have to tell you, it was only a matter of weeks before we heard the voice of our boy coming through again, where he was experiencing some normalcy and responding to the structure and starting to make friends and loving the caretakers that he had with them. We started to see that he was cooperative and he was starting to enjoy some of the therapy. That was so reassuring to us as parents. We often got to visit Onamia and see Luke, and we would try to have normal family experiences, amid some family therapy too, which was super helpful. We got to know the staff, we got to know about his everyday experiences, we got to see a little bit of the life he was living there, and that was a real blessing to our family. Even if we went on a Sunday, we would be able to take him to church and just do some normal family things that were a part of our lives. He enjoyed our visits, and he also enjoyed his visits coming home when he got to just dip back into his life at home for a little bit. And we did that a little more increasingly as it became time for him to be released. Another thing that Luke really enjoyed while he was at Nexus is recreation. He really thrived with recreation. He loved being outside. He loved the fitness center and learning to use all of the equipment properly. He started lifting weights. He was playing football, kickball. He went fishing. He went to the beach, and he did the infamous river bobbing. That was a big thing at Nexus Mille Lacs, and he often did that. He even went on trips to the cities to go to Timberwolves games and the Twins games. We felt like he was getting such great experiences with these recreational programs because it really helps with the normalcy of life. to give these kids these great experiences, not to mention the outdoors and the sunshine and all that good does for you. As we neared time to leave, with about 2 weeks left before he was released from Nexus, I wrote something in my journal that I'd like to share with you. Today was the last time I returned Luke to treatment. After 10 months in residential, Luke will come home in just 2 weeks. I feel so proud of the work Luke has done at Nexus over these months away from us. I'm also proud of the work we've done and the sacrifices to get to this point. Has it been perfect? No. Is the work done? Also no. Today, when I left the facility in Mille Lacs, I noticed a tagline under their signing. It read, "Restoring Hope, Reshaping Futures." We showed up here 10 months ago and we were broken. I felt hopeless, tired, depleted, despair, and quite frankly, I didn't know if it would ever get better. We were in crisis. That time I could not picture or imagine a time where we'd be ready to transition him home. Today, before I returned Luke to Mille Lacs, he and I went to visit his new school. Nexus has right-sized his IEP, and I found a school that would mirror his Nexus experience. When I put in the address to visit the new school, I realized the school was on Hope Street. Nothing is coincidence. I felt God's hand assuring me there would indeed be hope for Luke's future. The enormity of gratitude my husband and I have is indescribable. At an evaluation before treatment, the psychiatrist looked at us and declared, "You are in crisis and need immediate attention." We are grateful to the many angels in our path who've led us to Nexus and supported Luke through the treatment. We are most certainly one family with a restored future and restored hope. Today, Luke is 16 years old. He has a job. He's a sophomore in high school. He has a girlfriend. He's played sports. He's doing well in school. He has many friends. And we have a new language in our home. Thanks to Nexus, we're able to communicate calmly and peacefully. We're able to problem solve and resolve things together with a new language we did not have before sending him to Nexus. Nexus has truly helped give my family hope and give one boy a new life. I hope tonight that you come together to do that for many, many others. Thank you.
Sarah, you're amazing. We're so grateful to you for sharing that. Did you see her huge standing ovation? You deserve that and more. And thank you for the courage to share that story, because we know that's not easy either. I know all of you, I can feel it. I know you're so eager right now to raise your paddles and support Nexus, and we're going to get to that really quickly because there's so much power in community, and everything you've seen works, and it's beautiful, and Sarah and Luke are living proof. So the funds tonight are going to go to support those recreation and arts and wellness programs and the things like ice cream that bring smiles to faces and those wonderful moments that you saw. You've heard it from Dr. Murray, you saw it from Sarah. So our goal here in this room is to raise $75,000, which might sound daunting, but I have a great plan and a great path to get us there. All it requires from you is just full participation, everyone doing what you can at whatever level you can. So I see some of you sharing those paddles. Everyone has a paddle at their table. If you would, take that star-shaped paddle and make sure that the right person has the right paddle, and make sure that your name is on it and do it. Oh, good. 231, you're in for $5,000. I love your enthusiasm up front. So these gifts are going to show thousands of children and families what Nexus Family Healing is about and how you can really create hope and in the case of Sarah and Luke, made great change. So to get things started off, ladies and gentlemen, I want to share a message from a family who, if they could be here tonight, I know would be raising their paddles very high.
What's up, everybody? It's Adam and Kaylin Thielen here.
While we've been away for a while, our home and our hearts are still rooted in Minnesota. We know the important role that physical wellness and activity can play in a children's mental health.
Jim Snee introduced us to the Nexus Family Healing a few years ago, and we are thrilled to invest in recreation and physical wellness at Nexus Girard in Austin. Tonight, we are excited to honor Jim and Tammy for their efforts and to help establish the Nexus Family Healing Fund for recreation, arts, and wellness with a gift of $10,000. We hope you will join us in this important effort with your gifts tonight. We appreciate it, and God bless.
Oh, God bless them. That's awesome. Great Minnesota native, Adam Thielen and his wife, Kate. So they're in there at 10,000, and that's the leadership, and that's where they're starting. And I would invite anyone that wants to follow them at that level. If you want to do that, just raise your hand and raise your paddle. 113, thank you. No hesitation. God bless you. Boom, just like that. Sneeze, thank you so much. 143, let's write that down as well. Oh, we're going to hit that 75 and surpass it. Anyone else at the 10,000 level? Okay, I have more good news. Our foundation board member, Eric Mercer, and his wife, Jeremy, are so grateful for the care that their son received at Nexus Girard while in high school. While they couldn't be here this evening, they've gone ahead and pledged $5,000. So let's add that to the kitty. And I would ask anyone else if they could do 5. Anyone else in the room that can do it at this level. 142, thank you very much, Dr. Murray. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I see some folks kind of discuss 150, you're in, thank you. I see some folks talking about it, like, should we do this? I want to do more. Do what makes you feel right. You will wake up tomorrow going, you changed lives, and it'll be the greatest feeling in the world. 147, thanks for getting the message. Love your support, thank you. Anyone else at 5? I don't want to skip anyone. I want to make sure we get them all. Thank you for all you folks. Thank you for the Mercers as well. So if we had 2,500, it would do things like buy the actual outdoor equipment, right? The canoes and the paddles and the basketball hoops and the soccer equipment and the fishing gear. Because as you know, this stuff makes a huge difference. I mean, we're just letting kids be kids. And it's so important. Anyone at 2,500, I'd love to take it down. 215, I see you. 216, don't know if that's coincidence, but we love it. 156 in front. 168, you're in. I love your enthusiasm, sir, but I need the number side, not the blue side. Right on. 298. 145, right in front. Anyone else at 25? Remember, we'll do the whole room. Just all that matters is that you did something, right? Just that you did something. Anyone else at 2,500? $1,000 would do things like let us take kids to concerts, do more for amusement parks, a trip to a museum. 292, are you in at 1,000? Right on, thank you. 297, you're in as well. 140, 138, 214, 162. You know the great thing is, next year you'll get a table right up front, so that's good. 202, 244, 187. Did I go too quick? You got them all recorded? That is so awesome. Anyone else at 1,000? 106, welcome, thank you. Great to see you in front. 117, spectacular, spectacular. 152, thank you. I'm sorry I didn't catch it. Maybe it was too close. Anyone else? Want to get everyone included. Want to get everyone included, and we want to hit that goal. It is so awesome to see how this works and the results that come from it. It's absolutely amazing. 500 gets art supplies, musical instruments, all kinds of other things. How many 500s do we have? 172, got it. 118, thank you. 191, love it. 183, you're in. 137, 296, 293, 302, 141, 153, 114, 170, 301 in the back. Spectacular. Look at this entire section over here. My God, you people are fabulous. It might sound boring to hear the numbers, but think of the numbers as just hope and real meaning. 135, you're in. 230, you're in. 203, you're in. 234, thank you. 226, we've got you. 237, we've got you as well. 164, we've got you. 163, I'm getting choked up. 287, It's so beautiful. 122, thank you. 294, 290. You people are amazing. Uh, 250 would mean like someone like you, Luke, could go to a school club and pay for athletic fees and uniforms. 227, you're in at 250. 182, I've got you. 171, thank you. 155, 272, awesome. This side of this room's got a lot of enthusiasm. 283, you're in. 272, you're in. 312, love it. 279, thank you. 144 in front, done. 151, 103, 105, 166, 233, thank you. 250, 291, 136, 207, 125, 120, 211, 124, 121, 126. I want to scream out 075. 262, 224. Anybody else at that level? Fabulous. All right, here I've got a great thing for $100. Anyone that can do $100, I want to make it 200. I want to match it, which is really, really fantastic. Tell you exactly how we're going to do it. The Nexus leadership team is committed to matching 10 gifts. On top of that, Stonebridge Capital Advisors is going to offer 10 gifts. The first 20 people that raise their hand at $100 will turn into $200. 116, 225, 104, 240, 205, 204, 225, 154, 128, 129, 303, 304, 212, 256, 259, 258, 217. Oh, I love you, 133. Scream, I got you, don't worry. 223, and we'll get it matched. 221, 175, 179, 178, 119, 115, 169, 174, 213, 286, 277, 260, 193, 220, 186, 101, 102. If anyone else wants to give because they're just in the spirit, if you want to raise your hand, we'll do that again at the 100 and try to match it too. I want to make sure we get everyone in. So here's the full participation method. Yeah, that's worth applause for sure. If there's a level I didn't mention and you'd prefer to do that, or if you want to do something, if you want to put $52.18, if you want to put $75, if you want to put $7,500, and you want to do the Scandinavian way where you don't get called out, just take out your phone and you can go ahead and enter it in there right now. Or when you go to check out at donations, if you'd like to give, go, love the evening, love Sarah's speech, love what Nexus does. Throw on an extra 100, 200, any amount you want. It is amazing. You folks are fantastic. I love the fact you got the message. And, you know, thank you not only for making Nexus a better place, it makes our entire community a better place. And that's a really, really good thing. That's hope, for sure. Hello. How generous were those people?
So exciting.
It's amazing.
Get a little choked up out there,
I am.
right? Yeah. As we close our evening out, we want to thank the Nexus Family Healing for asking us to be part of this event this year.
Yes, thank you.
You can really feel the love in this room,
I know, I
can't
love
you?
it. It's
and
great.
I just, yeah. We're grateful to be involved with this wonderful organization, as I'm sure all of you who are here supporting it are. Many thanks to our honorary chairs, Jim and Tammy Snee. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you to presenting sponsor, Hormel Foods. Thank you to Tito's, the cocktail sponsor. Woohoo! Thank
Vodka and Spam all night long. Black Label Bacon too, yes.
Thank you to our platinum sponsors, AmTrust North America, Assured Partners, Bremer Bank, Medica. Thank you to our gold and silver sponsors. Thank you to Sarah, Luke. Thank you so much and your family for sharing your story.
Indeed.
For coming here tonight. Really appreciate that. Many, many thanks to the Night for Nexus Committee who worked tirelessly to make this event possible.
Yeah,
Thank
beautiful. And indeed, special thanks to all of you. You did it, and you're what creates hope. And It is an awesome thing. I wish you could all witness it from where my perspective was. It was beautiful. Okay, great news. Dessert bar is now open, and the bar is open. So grab a cocktail, grab dessert, enjoy yourself. Jake Nelson's coming back on stage for some entertainment. So thank you very much. Also, when you leave, there's some really beautiful personalized gifts that the young people involved with Nexus have created for you. And thought went into them and meaning, and they're really cool, so make sure you grab one of those in the lobby as you leave.
And also a reminder, auction checkout will open soon. Thank you everybody here for your amazing support and for creating hope. Have a wonderful evening.
Well done. Jake, sorry about that.